Sesame Street is a children's show with no need for introduction. It's a staple of one of the best and most educational children's shows out there and has a wide range of puppets, humans, and example sketches. The sketches are definitely monumental and remembered by many people on the internet. One of those many sketches encompasses two puppets named Bert and Ernie. So tonight we're going to look at some of the numerous Bert and Ernie sketches made for the show. Apple Pie. Apple Pie, as the name suggests, is a food-related skit set in their kitchen set, which almost never gets shown in standard broadcast. Ernie offers Bert some pie, Bert accepts, and the two kind of bicker over the size difference of them all. Mostly Bert. Ernie is just trying to be very accepting of every little decision that Bert makes. Interestingly, this sketch also had a few foreign dubs, one of which was the German dub, which encompassed an extra 8 or so seconds of the full sketch. While the normal ending of this sketch features Bert in his close-up for the camera after Ernie tells him that he has the piece he's bickering about. This is the shot that the sketch typically ends with in standard airings, by the way. We hear a honking sound and return to the original camera angle with Bert asking what the heck just happened then and there as Ernie decides to just go ahead and eat the pie for himself. Really selfish of you, Ernie.
Well, what just happened here?
This full-length ending actually used to be lost media at one period of time. It took roughly 2 years or so for the full sketch to be found and published online. I do wish the kitchen was used more in these videos though. I don't know why they have to selectively choose a set. They should be able to utilize these props further because the kitchen set is very nostalgic to many people. Ernie's roller skate. Ernie's Roller Skate is a sketch that is very humorous because it uses an off-screen, unseen prop in order to get its humor across to the audience, which is very funny. Bert tells Ernie he has to pick up his one roller skate on the carpet because what if somebody trips over it and they hurt themselves? You know what I mean? And then, typical Ernie has to come along and design his own thought process about what would happen if Bert ran over that roller skate. Including,
the wheels would probably start rolling, I guess. Bert would probably just roll right out of the apartment and onto the sidewalk. And if he were on the sidewalk, he might roll right over to Mr. Hooper's store.
And he would get some ice cream, I guess, when he was there, too. A fair portion of the Sesame Street franchise likes to mention unseen characters and places, such as Hooper's store and, obviously, the outskirts of their apartment. And Ernie's imagination is increasingly wild each time when you consider the context, too. I really like this sketch. It's quite funny, and I like the shorter sketches where they can still get stuff done within a limited run time. Also, I wish they would still make different types of roller skates like this nowadays, and I'm sure Jake would be very enthused by this if he were here too. Did somebody call my name? I love Bert and Ernie, so I'm surprised I wasn't here sooner. I wholeheartedly agree with Ubi because I really like the sketches where they mention other characters in the same show, or sometimes, in the less often cases, they'll mention random celebrities or anything like that. And this one is nice to hear about the outskirts of the apartment that Bert and Ernie reside in New York City. It really just adds a bit of implied change, you know what I mean? While I'm here, I figured I'd help a guy out. I'm gonna help you out with the next two choices. I'm not gonna question where you were, but I'm glad you're here right now. 4 People Fooled. Sketch is one of the other unique ones as it takes place completely outside the typical set of Sesame Street. It's a nice change. We have the wooden fence, the newspaper stand, sign on the fence there, and the random house on the background. Unfortunately, we don't get any backstory as to who lives in the house. It's never explained in any appearance of this set. Anyway, the sketch follows Ernie as he finds a newspaper boy saying 4 people have been fooled. Pretty sure the punchline couldn't be any more obvious, but here we go. Ernie reads the newspaper only to discover that the kid may have been lying to him. There is no story that shows 4 people being fooled by something.
I don't see anything in here about 4 people being fooled.
And here we go. This is where the punchline, it couldn't be any more obvious. Just hear the numbers out.
Extra, extra, read all about it. 5 people fooled.
I think I just made the papers.
Ernie shaking like that is really funny when he gets startled realizing he's been part of the punchline. It's definitely a notable change in the scenery when it comes to slapstick comedy. Tall, taller, tallest. The sketch is actually my favorite sketch thus far in early Bert and Ernie and Sesame Street slapstick sketches. Ernie and Bert are discussing human or puppet height. They never go deep and analyze their height in feet and centimeters though, because I guess that might be too complex for the children watching. They almost imply it in a way, taking Ernie's perspective as way down here, and Bert is taller, way up there, if you will. Soon, the canonically 8'2" Big Bird comes in and wrecks the place. Way to go, Ernie. You let someone else get into your house that height, you're screwed. Big Bird then sticks his head way up into the roof, claiming that the lecture has been fulfilled. I can't help myself but wonder if there is a bit of prop and fiction in that debris falling down. I mean, heights has been something that has been one of my all-time special interests, and I absolutely fantasize over what it would be like to be taller. Heck, I even have moon shoes that actually make me like 2 inches or so. So, my goodness, that's a stretch. I think this is the only time where they actually explicitly decide to talk about height measurements in the entire runtime of their film. I don't think Bert and Ernie ever decided by their performers to do it in any other sketches, which is kind of sad because I wanted to see this concept produced more. And maybe they could have eventually taught the kids about actual measurements down the line. They clearly have the knowledge and incentive to be able to do something like that.
Now we know all about tall, taller, and tallest.
Unfortunately, I can't stay for long, Ubi, because I got a bunch of YouTube ideas that I gotta prep for my own channel. Nah, bro, you think I'm pissed at you? No, I actually enjoyed it. Your insight into these 2 entries is very spot on, and I definitely agree. Ernie being fooled is such satirical madness, and I appreciate all of it, just like you do. I also agree that we should have had more insight down the line when the set was used again as to what the heck the background buildings were for. Probably for some business maintenance or someone else's house, which is the latter, the most likely scenario. But we're both in the same way, like we love to be eccentric thinkers. Attaboy, Ubi. Now, I gotta go back to Yo, it's Jake 4091. I'll see you guys, and then I come back. Gosh, I already miss them. Ernie's bath forgetfulness. The snippet opens with Ernie, who has just gotten out of the tub and bathed himself clean, has just wiping himself off with a towel. Bert comes in and checks on him, wondering what he's just been doing, which he has been taking a bath. Obvious. Everything's going smoothly, that is until Ernie reminds Bert that he's probably forgotten to do something specific after he gotten out of the tub, which I'll be honest, I tend to do that sometimes too. It isn't until the end that we realize that Ernie has forgotten to shut off the water, and we get a cartoonish but also kind of realistic depiction of a flood around the bathroom. Interestingly, this specific bathroom setup isn't really as used as much as later adaptations of the bathroom. They are existent, but they're interchangeable through the years, and the original one that we're using in this video at least is definitely a unique one from the early days of Sesame Street. It's a shame that this set will never probably be used again on Sesame Street, as well as having the tub in the corner of the room is definitely something that I find very valuable about this setup. Can't help but wonder about their privacy situation though. What happens if there's a window somewhere in the way that they can actually be seen by some people? With that, I've successfully finished my first video independently with only a small few segments with Jake. And I'm glad he could help me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.